Hello, this is Julianne with Life Edit and Design, and today we are doing our Quarter 4 Plan With Me session for your Notion Life operating system. So in this session, we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you, how to update your Life operating system to reflect the themes of the fall and have some fun with some of the things that you can do, like your bucket list for the fall, and really getting your whole database kind of converted and ready for the fall season. So let's dive right in. So I hope you have your Notion database ready, and we are going to dive right in and get this going. So first thing we're going to do is Quarter 4. When you're doing it is first off is kind of when do you want to do your Quarter 4 planning, right? What is the best time to do Quarter 4? So there's 3 different ways you could approach this quarter, right? So you could do it with the calendar and start right off on October 1st, which I'm recording this on September 30th. So tomorrow is the first calendar day that you could do your quarterly planning. Or you could do it with the solar calendar and do it with the autumnal equinox, which is usually typically September 22, 23 here in the Northern Hemisphere, and that's the first official day of fall, and it's when the day and the evening are the same length. You could also follow the moon cycle instead and do it in the Hunter's Moon, which this year is October 9th. And you could do it either a few days or before or after either one of those markers. So it's really up to you. You could stick straight to the calendar or follow the sun or the moon for your signals, whatever really makes you happy. The idea is just to get it done right around this time period somewhere so that you can really take full advantage of the fall season. And it's my favorite season, so I hope it is for you too. So that's when you would want to do your Quarter 4 planning. And let's look at some ideas. So this is what I do for my Quarter 4, and I thought it would give you some good inspiration for what you might want to do. So the first thing that I always do is set my theme for the quarter, and then I set my themes for the month. So what are Quarter 4 themes? So we're obviously at the harvest time, especially, again, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, it's going to be the exact opposite of this. You're not going to be doing fall themes, you're going to be doing your spring themes. But for the Northern Hemisphere, it's harvest, celebration, and abundance, right? The farmers are in the fields and they're reaping their harvest, and this is kind of the end of the year to kind of get all your crops in. So obviously most of us are not in an agricultural realm anymore, but that theme still plays out, and you still see it in the stores, and you still have that feeling in the air that the farmers markets are wrapping up because all their harvest is in and they're doing their last couple. We actually had our last farmers market last weekend, so this is kind of the end of bringing in all the harvest. So with that said, this is also a time of preparation, right? We're getting ready for winter, we're getting ready for that cold season to come, and so you're kind of doing your checklist, and we'll dive into a little bit more of that, but that's a major theme, is preparing for the cold months that are coming. And it's actually preparing your harvest too, is when you're doing your canning and your drying of foods so that you can have them get you through the cold winter where there are nothing's growing. So preparation. Then the other theme that you'll see a lot is balancing. So it's reaping this harvest. It's kind of looking back at what you've done and reaping all of that, but it's also preparing. So it's a balance between looking backward and looking forward. So the harvest being kind of reviewing what you were able to accomplish in the first 3 quarters of the year, looking at that, and also balancing it with, okay, now I need to move forward and be looking at the winter, the quarter ahead. So it's you'll see that Libra and the scales reigns in this time frame as you're starting to move into October. You're moving into the sign of Libra, and that's again those scales. You're balancing things. Then another common theme is decisions. So if you're doing this balance, you're looking at what happened in the past, you're looking at what's coming up, you have to decide what's going to stay and what's going to go. So decision making is very important at this time of year because you're making those key decisions of what do you need to let go of. So this Quarter 4 is also the time of letting go, endings, and death, right? So you see in the fields, and I don't mean death as in the end, but death of all the crops. Death, the land kind of goes into this dormant hibernation period in the next quarter. So what you're seeing is a letting go and an ending. So you take that metaphorically into your life as what do you want to let go of? What is kind of come to its end? What's gone its full cycle? Like the harvest is the end of the growing cycle, right? This is when things they're complete. And so you can use the word completion instead of endings if you prefer. But these are the major themes that you want to weave into the next 3 months, October, November, December. These are kind of the overarching themes for the Quarter 4. So now that we have our themes, let's go up to our checklist. So you're going to want to set themes for each month. So I'm going to jump over to my review dashboard and pop me over here. So you can see in my monthly area, so these are my month's reviews, all the reviews that I've done to date. and I have my themes set. So October for me is going to be balance and preparation, right? I'm getting ready for winter, and I'm kind of doing that balance of looking back and looking forward. And then in November, obviously for in the United States, that's a big month around Thanksgiving and gratitude. So it's really celebrating the abundance that I've had all year and appreciating where I'm at in life. So that's going to be my theme for November. And then December, obviously, is celebration and being present, because we tend to get too tied up into the hustle and bustle and the stress of the season, and that's not what I want. So it's celebration and presence. So those are my themes, and as I go through and I make my new monthly recording here, as I make my new fields for each one, I'll be popping those themes in. So I've already got them ready to go for I'll start October tomorrow. I'll hit new and create my October month. So that's where I've set my themes. So that's your first step. If you're following along and planning the way I'm planning, that's going to be your themes. Your next thing is your destination or your outcome for each of the high priority life areas. So if you've done the course, the 5-step planning process, you will have life areas. And if you want to take that course, it's a free course, and you'll find the links down below. But if you go to my foundation dashboard, this should look very familiar to you if you've taken the 5-step course. Here's your life areas and your priorities and your satisfactions. So what we're doing here, I really have to find a good place for me, is looking at the high priority areas. So this is a quarterly planning. You don't want to look at every area. We just want to look at those high priorities, because I don't want to get bogged down. That you don't want this to be too long. So for me, I have 3 high priority areas. So these are the 3 areas I'm going to focus on. And if we open it up, what I want to do is I've got an entry right here for quarter 4, like what is the outcome? So here's a reminder of those themes. So I wanted to have them in my mind as I went through and created my goals. So, for me, it's kind of like, okay, a little bit of balance. I really want to be working on strength. And when the year ends, I want to be able to do these things. And this is, again, that balance thing of getting distracted. So I want to make sure that I have a good balance of my strength and activity each month, because it tends to tail off in the winter. So that just gives you an idea of how I'm taking the themes for the month and pulling them in and saying, well, by the end of this quarter, whatever happens in this quarter, when it's all said and done, I want to be able to do these 2 things. That's the outcome, and that will also be part of my bigger goal. So remember, if you've done the course, you understand that we set a bigger goal for what does this look like for me? What do I want in this area of health? And so these are 2 things that I can do, and then what I need to do about them. I have to add a habit tracker, and this is Gold Badge is something that Peloton does, so Peloton will track it for me. So I have 2 things that I want to do, and I've gone through each of my top priority areas and come up with a couple of things related to the theme for the quarter, and that would move me closer to my ideal goals in each of these areas. So you'll want to do that, which is set your destination or your outcome for the end of the quarter in each of your high priority areas. Then comes some fun, right? So the last quarter of the year lends itself to 2 bucket lists, a fall bucket list and a holiday bucket list, which I absolutely love. That's my favorite. So if we go here to my daily dashboard, so your daily dashboard is obviously going to look different. And again, if you've taken the course, you understand our whole time blocking system. But I put my bucket list over here on the side so that I can quickly take an item and drag it. So you could take an item, in order to drop it in a block, you would just bring it over, and it would drop right into that block. And we'll go back and put it back where it was. Oops, let me just undo that because I want it to be the way it was. So you can drag anything onto your calendar, which I really love. So that's why I like to have it right here where I can see it. And then what I do is just check off the things. So as you can see on my fall bucket list, I'm already doing pretty good. And I have a couple more things, and you can always add to it. As ideas come to you, just feel free to pop them in. And then I have a holiday bucket list of things that I like to do. Again, these favorite movies, things that I must watch every year. I do this kind of elaborate countdown to Christmas, so I have 25 days of different things that I do, decorating, and my daughter's birthday is that month, and this is a Lights in the Park we do every couple of years, and I'm not sure if I'll do it this year or not, but these again are just some things that I'll be adding to this list as I go on. So you'll want to create your bucket lists, which are always so much fun. So create your bucket list, and then playlists. I love having a fall and a holiday playlist, and for me I already have them started, so I'll just go back to ones I haven't listened to them in a while, and now that it's fall I'll go back and listen to it. I'll add a few new songs, and my holiday one is a lot of holiday favorites, but I always do add a couple songs every year. So you want to create a playlist for your fall, and that's not something I do inside Notion. I know Notion has a Spotify widget that you can use, but I really don't use that. Again, that's overcomplicating. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's one of my personal rules. So I just do the playlist on my phone. Then this one is a fun one. So this is when you do it once, you can reuse this over and over. And that's creating a project called Fall, and then including all your winter prep tasks. So let's go look at that real quick. So if you've, again, taken the full-blown course, I talk a lot about how to do repeat tasks and project tasks in a much easier way and much simpler way. But this is my fall task. So as you can see, the name of it is put away the cushions and the outdoor canopy. But if you look at the project, so it's linked to this project Fall Master, and here are the things that I need to do. So again, here's a reminder of the themes, just so I had them front and foremost. And then I have here my checklist of things, and I'm doing pretty good. Gotten through a lot of my winter preparation list, and I only have a couple things left. So I make the task name the next thing on my list. So I have to do these two things next, and that will complete putting away all the outdoor furniture. So that's what's on my calendar, and I've actually got it listed for today. So after I record this, I hope to get out there and actually do this. And then I'll change the name of this task. So after I've done this task, rather than marking it complete, I don't mark it complete. Instead, I'll change the name to put away summer clothes. I'll go up here and I'll change the name of this task to put away summer clothes. So that's one of the things that I like to do. And then I can reuse this. So I never mark this task complete. What I'll do is when I'm done with this whole task, I'll just change this quarter and move it to quarter 4 of 2023. And that way it'll just be back in my project list, but it won't be active until I get to that quarter. So that way I don't need to reinvent the wheels. The themes are not going to change year after year. This is always going to be the theme of fall. This is what always happens. And my checklist really isn't going to change. I may add or take something out, but for the most part, I'm just going to clear this off as far as unchecking them, putting them back into circulation, and then I'll just do them again for next year. So I found this a really easy way to take care of your repeat checklist, things that you're going to do every single year. Put them right there, create a project, and then just change the name of the task each time to the next thing on your checklist. So that is your project. And then the last thing is a lot of fun. I enjoy this. And that's doing seasonal updates to your actual database. Why not make this look fun and exciting? So it's fall. Why have your spring and summer pictures up when you have a system that you can change however you'd like? So let's go and see what I would be doing for that. So if we jump over to, see right here, this content page. Well, that's not very fallish, right? So if you've taken the free course, you have access to the hub, and in the hub I have all the Notion covers that you can change. So you can come along here and be like, all right, I'd like to make this content. So I duplicated content. Let's make it fallish. So I'd go over good old Canva. Let's take this, make this fall, and then okay, I want to change those blue clouds, but now I want it to match this picture. So let's try some colors. Do I like that? Do I like that? Do I like that? And you just go, oh, I kind of like that one. So let's take that. So then I can now save this, download it, save it, and then I'll go in and I'll update the covers. So on the pages that I use the most, I'm going to update the covers and put brand new covers that are fallish. So when you go to your home dashboard, like this is kind of a spring summery one, I'm going to change that to the fall, and because it's already here in my list of different covers that I have here, I'll just go in and I'll update that one and change it to what I want. So it's not actually in this one, but it's in a different one. So I already have it. So I'm just going to go up and change that. The other thing I'm going to do is make this match so now we're in a new month. I'm going to change my theme here. So my theme is now going to be balance and preparation. So why not change this to match your theme for the month? And you can change your icon. I'm going to do that leaf because I've been using that. So I'll go back and I'm going to change this cover, but you can do that on all your covers. Go through the pages that you use the most and make them fall. Stylize them. Change some icons if you want to different fall icons, whatever you want. Like, that's the fun of it. This is Notion and it's flexible. It's dynamic. You can make changes as you go. So I really encourage you to have some fun with this. Get things ready for fall. Do your quarter 3 planning. And then if we go back real quick to where we were, there's one last piece of your quarter 4 planning, and that's, we've done all these updates. You're going to want to actually have a section here for when things are over. You'll want to come back and do a review. So we're not going to do the review in this section, but when we get to December, we'll do a quarterly review and we'll go back and we'll be looking at how these things worked out. How did we get to our destination and our outcome that we wanted? Did we get to do our bucket lists? Did we do everything on our checklist for the fall? So that'll be a part of the review. So what you're doing here is setting yourself up for having a great review session when you're ready to go into January. You'll review what you did in quarter 4 as you prepare for quarter 1 of the new year. All right, So I hope that this was all informative and helpful. If you'd like to take the free course, I show you how to use a 5-step process to create this great Life operating system that's tailored to you, that's customizable, but it'll help you follow along with some of these videos. And again, it's free, and the link will be down below. All right, we'll see you next time.